On Saturday afternoons, many of those rugged steel guys gathered on the terraces of Middlesbrough Football Club. And some of the toughest of them all became the forerunners of the Frontline, one of football's most notorious hooligan groups. The Frontline was formed in the late 1960s, when its founders faced equally fierce dockers from Millwall and Everton while wearing pit boots, mining helmets, and donkey jackets. Doc Marten boots, skinhead hairstyles, and Crombie coats soon became popular among young males. The Frontline went on to become one of the most active soccer gangs, gaining a reputation for their bravery and tenacity in face-to-face combat rather than their weaponry or numbers. Their dedication was unrivaled, and they would travel through the night to take on London and South Coast firms, albeit their bitterest enemies were Sunderland's, Mackems, and Newcastle's Geordies. Spectacular reinvestment has delivered some on-field success and a huge extension of support since the club's doldrums in the 1980s, but the Frontline have never gone away. For those who had never visited Ayrsham Park, it was surrounded by a grid of terraced streets, similar to Roker Park, and the trip back to the railway station took them via Ayrsham Gardens and down Linthorpe Road, which had numerous side streets. One of them included the infamous The Trooper pub that. As a result, Linthorpe Road was a nightmare for the police, if they were bothered, and even worse for away supporters, who were constantly ambushed by the Frontline and other Borough fans. I keep getting told Borough's Frontline were top 5, but due to their yo-yo league positions, I don't think they ever had enough chances to take it to the bigger stronger firms, and that's why they always linger at about number 10 toughest for me. They needed to take it to other firms rather than just be awesome at home, and I can't remember the Frontline ever trying to take the Shed or West Ham etc. But anyway, 10th is pretty good. Some of their well-known incidents include 1978 Middlesbrough v Chelsea. Chelsea take the Holgate end, Middlesbrough's home end. Forum fan tells the story, the match when the Holgate end was taken was the 2-7 match 1978-79. We were in the corner opposite, which was terrace next to the seats, and my mate Paul Feeney was talking to a Borough girl who said to him that no one has ever taken the Holgate end. At that precise moment Hickey and his mob cleared the end and Chelsea was written on the wall at the back of the end. PF said to her, "Well, it has now." 1980 Middlesbrough v Man United. Lots of trouble at this match with a Red Army invasion of over 7,000. Unfortunately, as the Red Army was trying to get out of some gates after the match, a wall collapsed, and 2 Borough fans lost their lives. This led to pitched battles outside the ground and police struggled to regain control. Video footage of the actual game. (1981) Sunderland v Middlesbrough. Trouble before the match with the Borough coaches arriving to welcoming committee from the Sunderland faithful. Then Borough get put in the clock stand, which didn't go down too well with everyone concerned, including the Sunderland fans who spent most of the match lobbing bricks and bottles. The Frontline, of course, lobbed them back. After the match there was a riot with police horses having to be deployed to try and calm everything down. (1983) Middlesbrough v Chelsea. Chelsea take 300 to Borough, and legend has it they take liberties, running Borough fans through the streets and having the upper hand inside the ground. This led to the formation of the Frontline as we know it today, because the Borough lads didn't want anyone else taking the piss at their manor. 1985 Shrewsbury v Middlesbrough. Complete carnage after 5,000 Borough arrive at little old Shrewsbury. Police are caught outnumbered and over 100 arrests are made, mostly Borough's Frontline. Police in the Borough end have to retreat. The Frontline try to tear down the fence and throw things onto the pitch. After the match there's a riot that took over 2 hours to quell after police reinforcements are brought in from neighbourhood areas. 1985 Darlington v Middlesbrough, Cup. Only 16 arrests as Borough arrive with 5,000 fans who take over the town and stadium. The police are hopelessly outnumbered but manage to eject over 70 Borough fans. The mob violence erupted late into the game when Darlington went into a 2-0 lead. A section of the crowd spilled through police lines as the referee led the players off the pitch. Concrete missiles were hurled at officers and one policeman was badly injured after being kicked to the ground. He was treated in hospital for 2 cracked ribs. And the violence didn't stop at the end of the game. Borough fans later ran wild through Darlington town centre, smashing shop windows and attacking locals. (1986) Darlington v Middlesbrough. This was the league match and a rerun of the cup game the year before, with another mass invasion from the Borough fans. Described as a horror match, hooligans were armed with bleach, Stanley knives and pool balls before the derby, and some covered their faces with checked scarves. The rival supporters used slightly different designs for subtle recognition of each other. But the disruption continued inside Fetham's, with Borough yobs ripping up 2 advertising boards and hurling pieces at opposing fans. By the end of the day, 103 people were in custody. And police found an array of deadly weapons after a raid on the Frontline crew. 1987 Doncaster v Middlesbrough. Promotion party for Borough's Frontline, with thousands locked out of the ground because of stadium unsafe issues. Complete mayhem inside the ground, with several pitch invasions forcing the referee to delay the restart. After the match, the Frontline went on a drunken rampage, causing thousands of pounds worth of damage. (1988) Chelsea v Middlesbrough, playoffs. Carnage all day and night at this match, with Chelsea fans invading the pitch several times and fighting inside and outside the ground. Here is a picture of Borough Frontline strolling through Hyde Park, taking liberties on Chelsea's manor. Forum member Steve told us, "I went to this game as a neutral and ended up in with the Borough fans. The pitch invasion and violence by Chelsea supporters at the final whistle was the worst I've ever seen inside a football ground. Hundreds of them charged out of the shed end, tearing up advertising hoardings and using anything they could find as missiles. If it wasn't for the fence in front of the away end preventing a full-on confrontation, I'm convinced people would have been killed that day." Luckily, I was right at the back, so relatively safe from the rampage. We were kept in the ground for around 90 minutes after the game until things had calmed down. But even then, there was major trouble outside the ground, with Borough's Frontline taking on Chelsea headhunters in running battles. It's difficult to believe now that something like this could happen at a football match. Chelsea fans still talk about the Borough Frontline to this day, saying they were easily the best firm to visit, but perhaps the fence saved them. 1999 Middlesbrough v Man United. A full-scale riot between the Frontline and United's men in black. 5,000 United turn out to Ayresome Park, but trouble begins inside the ground, and after the match a full-scale riot breaks out with a massive police presence barely containing the two sets of fans. There is even a police video about it all on YouTube. (2006) Roma v Middlesbrough, Europa League. 3,500 Borough fans make the journey to Rome for this Europa League match and turn the city red. Fighting with locals and police after the match, with the police doing the usual, arrest the English and let the Italians get away with murder, routine. In Campo de Fiori Square, Borough Frontline was attacked and injured by Roma ultras in a cowardly attack using bats and balls. The Borough fans can be seen in the video, and 50 of them break through the cordon to attack Roma fans. The Frontline of Middlesbrough has been active since 2006, but trying to keep their nuts down and be less obvious. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications of further videos including Liverpool and Everton firms.